and welcome to Jacarepagua for round 3 of Gravel Trip Legends Tourist Trophy. Jacarepagua is an often overlooked gem. Built on swampland back in 1970s, this hosted Formula 1, Formula 3, trucks and MotoGP, but on Monday night it hosted GTL and the Copa Classics. 12 turns, each of a different radius. It takes real skill to maximise your pace here. This is a test of cornering ability, as most cars are fairly equal on the two straights. 90 degree and 180 degree sweepers rule here, with two kinks, Sospiro and Moret, which are there seemingly just to unbalance the car. This is not an easy track to drive fast. Sospiro will humble a few drivers. Front wheel drive cars are able to power themselves out of trouble, but the rear wheel drives are vulnerable here. Turn 7, Sully Curve, is a huge long left hand sweeper. You have to brake heavily into it after the straight, but then you can accelerate through it, tempting several drivers to late brake and run too fast and end up running wide. 19 drivers are on the grid tonight, only 2 Fusca wildcards. Left and No Frills have won the lottery. They have the front of the grid to themselves. Esky Man is in his favourite car, the Chevette, qualifying first Copa Classic. A big play from him to maximise points and to make up for missing round 1. Mark did very well to qualify in the second row, and Cuckoo, third Copa, is playing a calculated game to stay in the running but not punish himself by doing too well too early on. A series leaders, of course, starting from the back, Rangy Rover and Hyperdin both had to sit out qualifying and will be focused on recovering as many points as possible. Left leads No Frills in the Fuscas, then it's Esky in the Chevette, Mark in a Chevette, Bradluck in Puma, Cuckoo in Puma, and Smithy in a Cooper. Tourist Trophy rules means each week a driver has to drive a different car. A lot of tactics of when to race your strongest car and which track suits which machine. Generally the rear wheel drives are more popular. The front wheel drives are very sporty under braking and run wide on corner exit with too much power on. Most front wheel drive drivers are working the throttle to get power and grip, and it keeps keeping at least some power on even through the tightest of corners. Another Tourist Trophy rule is that the top 3 drivers on the leaderboard cannot set a qualifying time for the next race, relegating them to the back of the grid. This adds more tactics to the race. Drivers want to do well, but not too well, because that can cause some headaches at the next round. Cuckoo has been very careful to stay off the podium so far. He wants to stay as close as possible to the leaders, while avoiding the leaders' qualifying penalty. This sounds very easy maths to do with a pen and paper between races. However, at 180 km an hour it's a much harder calculation to make. Made even harder again by having several fast drivers absent this week. Smithy leads Chris along the straight. Chris is one of several drivers finding these little Coopers to be very wide cars to pass. Smithy has great pace and Chris just cannot get enough speed on the straight to get around him. The Pumas are really quick cars, but they take a little while to get up to maximum velocity, and the back straight is just not long enough. And then Chris is back to trying to find any gap Smithy leads him through the twisty stuff. Front-engined, front-wheel drive Coopers battling rear-engined, rear-wheel drive Pumas, and in the background we see a little Mini Cooper going off across the grass. Too much power has shot Lou's Mini out of the Garea right-hander. It's an easy mistake to make, and Lou will not be the only one to make it. Lou, however, will not be too upset. It's early in the race and there is plenty of time yet. Lou will finish the race saying that the Mini was the most fun she's had in AMS2. Such a fun, fast car to throw around the track. Left and No Frills begin to pull away from the pack. Despite having 60 horsepower more than the Copa Classics, the Fuscas have the least advantage here of all the tracks. This is probably why so few drivers have played their wildcard this week. Several of the fast drivers are expected to play their wildcard on the last round, where they will be less affected by the leader's no qualifying handicap. This has of course been a huge bonus for Left and No Frills. Both fast drivers in their own rights, but they are nearly guaranteed maximum points between them if they are able to keep it on the circuit. Esky is currently lapping only 5 seconds a lap behind the 2 Fuscas, which is just close enough to keep the pressure on them, and they no doubt can see Esky in their mirrors. The Fusca is a great fun car to drive. Enough horsepower to spin up the inside wheel coming out of a corner. They slipstream well, and with a bit of confidence they can almost be drifted through the corners. Their brakes are very weak and Beetle suspension does not like rapid changes of weight shift, but all of this makes them exciting cars to drive fast. But lap 3, disaster strikes no frills. He's working hard and pushes a touch too fast out of turn 2, a wheel on the grass, and it goes around. Once the rear-engined cars begin to spin, there is very little you can do and no frills becomes a passenger. Not a huge amount of damage done, but the real disaster is no frills cannot rejoin before the Copa Classic field catches him and he is stuck waiting for traffic. He is not alone. There is heaps of drama and excitement on and off the circuit. By half distance, the field is split into packs. Esky, Mark, Brad and Cuckoo, and then it's Chris, Smithy and Imperial, and then Kiz, Bales, Range and Truey, while No Frills carefully threads his way back up through each group. I'm now frightened by the lightning in my legs. You're such a screaming dream, I'm leaning to the demons in my head. Cruise around town with the windows down, shake it all around to the stereo sound. Cruise around town with the windows down, shake it all up to the summertime sound. You're like a roller coaster, toast you in a big four-poster bed. Say you're like a roller coaster, toast you in a big four-poster bed. I said, For 38 minutes, Mark, Brad and Cuckoo, 4th, 5th and 6th place, have been driving hard but still pacing themselves. Last lap and it turns into a sprint. Brad makes a huge lunge on Mark and overshoots. He takes a trip through the gravel track and Cuckoo has to recalculate his maths. And it doesn't look good. 5th place might be too good a result for him tonight. But it's too late to worry about that as Left takes Checkers, his first win of the series and 40 points safely in the bag, propelling him to 4th overall. A great job. No Frills has fought his way back through the Copa Classics and he takes 2nd in the race and 6th in the series. Esky takes 3rd overall, the first Copa Classic to take a podium for 13th on the leaderboard. Mark is 2nd Copa across the line, placing him 2nd in the series, and Cuckoo crosses just behind him for 3rd overall. And therefore both men will not be allowed to qualify at Santa Cruz next week. Cuckoo will be kicking himself. But the battle of the night is Smithy, Rangy Rover and Bales, 7th, 8th and 9th place. As series leader, Rangy started at the back of the grid and has done brilliantly to work his Golf back up to battle with the front runners. But again, Smithy's Mini proves too wide to pass. Bales finds an angle and inserts his Fiat on the inside of the final turn, and then it's a drag race for the line. Smithy takes 7th, Bales 8th and Rangy's 9th place will be enough to keep him at the top of the leaderboard and earning him another week of starting at the back at Santa Cruz. But theirs is not the only exciting finish. Stu and Truey have been slugging it out for 16th position for most of the race. Truey just getting his Puma's nose in front of the red Golf on the finish line for a great result and great racing. Truey is 10th in the series, Stu is 11th. 19th driver home is Max Power, a great performance from him as he brings the red Budweiser Puma over the line just as the sun sets behind Rio de Janeiro. Next Monday the whole circus will move to Santa Cruz for round 4. Rangy, Mark and Cuckoo will all start at the back. Rangy and Mark have both played their wildcards. This might be the time for Cuckoo to play his. Or do all of our leaders want to hold back and aim for 4th place? It's as much about good tactics as it is good racing. Santa Cruz is a GTL favourite, and round 4 is where the series will really come alive.
Well, she's halfway over this